Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We missed you. It's been a little minute. But never fear. As long as those of us aren't, as long as we have most of the table here, including myself, we will be playing every Wednesday moving forward. Because even after 2 years, we just can't get enough of each other. Anyway, quick context. I am wearing sunglasses today. Why? Because my head hurts. This may also result in extra breaks because the GM is on the struggle bus this week, but I want to play D&D. So, we're here. I'm powering through. So we're going to introduce our wonderful players here today. We're going to start with the top left of everybody's screen with Soul.
Hello everyone, my name is Soul. I use they, them pronouns. And tonight I am playing your inquisitive rogue, Synarch Fangbreaker, who's definitely having an easy time. Everything's fine. That's me.
I'm forgetting the order I normally go in. Alyssa!
Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me online at a disaster queer. And I am playing Revelation, our Aasimar Circle of Stars druid, who is having a fine time because we're reaching her destiny soon, and it'll be great. And Rev uses she and they pronouns.
Charmy.
Hi, I'm Charmy, also known as Captain Charmy, various places around the internet. I will be playing Aurora Incineratus, the hot girl sorcerer, Brat. We both use she, her pronouns.
Aki.
Hello. Got a
Hi.
mouthful of pizza.
Oh, sorry.
And fried chicken. Because I like fried chicken. I'm playing Dayu over here. There you go. Took me a second. We both use she, her pronouns. Dayu is the buddy bard necromancer. We're doing pretty good now that we have like a lot of these talks out of the way. Dayu is understanding that perhaps she needs tone indicators because maybe if you only talk in one tone, things are difficult. That's it.
Hashtag thanks autism. Moving on. Mari.
Hi, hello, I'm Mariana, also go by Larimosa with a 0 on Blue Sky and other places. And I play Nikita Ayaga, the Wood Elf Barbarian, and we both go by she, her pronouns.
And last but not least, right, I have to introduce myself as well. Hello, everybody. I'm Mandy, or the Mandy. This is my channel. This is where you can find me as frequently as I have the spoons to be here, which is usually every week on Wednesdays, and one of us in some capacity or another, Aki or myself, on every other Friday for our new show, new but not so new show, Curse of Sapphics. It is a Pathfinder 2e remastered, basically redux of Curse of Strahd. So basically Curse of Strahd, but so much cooler and not problematic, or not problematic in the same ways, because Strahd is still problematic kind of no matter what you do to her, or him, depending on, your perspective of Curse of Strahd. Anyway, hot, evil vampires, sapphics, monsters, need I say more? Also, I play a cute fox girl on that campaign, so, tune in. All the episodes of both this show and Curse of Sapphics are available on my YouTube channel. So if you don't follow the YouTube, please do so. And go watch VODs and things. I plan to do a lot more content over there this year. As soon as I figure out how to edit videos, or maybe even before then, and then we'll trial by fire it the way I do everything else. So I said off camera just before we went live here that I would give count 'em, 2 luck die to any of our lovely players here who would give a recap on stream. And I believe Sharmi was the one who, no? Aki wants to do it. Okay.
He's taking the crown.
Aki's taking it. Taking the crown. Go ahead, Aki.
So last episode was a full week of travel. A week is 10 days, by the way. That's just fun lore things to keep in mind. A week is 10 days in Mistlost time. So first week of the journey, going up. People were depressed because it was cold and it was getting colder. We only saw things like static spirits. Terrifying. And then we reached a temple, kind of like a little shrine in a mountain kind of thing. And we're like, let's rest here because it's a little bit safer. And then Sim was like, oh, 1 second. I put Valdin on hold for like 6 months. Or did Valdin put you on hold for like 6 months? I think is the better term here. Like, I think it's more like reverse. Either way, hold got dropped. Sin got to talk to Valdin, and Valdin was like, okay, look, man, I really enjoyed our secret, but it's actually like getting really annoying. Like, I've been waiting, you've been waiting. Just tell your friends. Just tell your friends our secret. It's okay. Also, here's like a bunch of other lore drops. Like, we did this many times. That's right. There's some time fuckery going on. Sin popped up like the what's the god of time?
Edem.
Edem. Thank you. I'm like, I know I'm not saying it right. Sim popped up the Eden hourglass thingy, and Valdin was like, oh, okay, well, you had many possibilities, and now you just got whatever this god wants. Sorry, you're locked in. No, Merida, change your fate, would you, for you. You're locked in, silly cat. Alright, peace. Also told us a bit about other timeline stuff, but it's just the fact that we've been doing this, like all 6 of us or whatever have been doing this for a while. It's kind of like, oh shit, bro. Why we keep fucking failing. And then Sin lore dropped all of the Valdin stuff on us, and people took it the way they took it. Specifically, Aurora had a tantrum. Revelation saw Aurora's tantrum and went, oh, matched. I can't wait to break this fucking chain here, okay? I love holes and fences. It means I can make it bigger and jive in. I like shortcuts. That's breadth. Nikita was like, oh, this is my first, what is this? Am I gonna be a good girlfriend today? Do I even know how to spell good? We're gonna find out.
I'm literate.
And then, you're literate, but can you spell? These are 2 different things, okay? I'm literate, I can't spell.
Very questionable, but...
And then people were like low-key fighting because tantrums were having, and then Dayu was like, stuck in one tone as usual, being like the mom of the group. And then she was like, wait a minute, guys, do you guys think I'm mad at you? Because I'm not mad at you, I'm just like concerned. And Aurora was like, yeah, I think you're mad at me. And everybody else was like, oh, can you spell mad? And that's a whole other thing because she has 9 intelligence, so there's a good chance Dayu can't spell mad. So yeah. We had a very long clarification chat. We realized that as a particule, tone indicators would be very helpful. Everybody would agree with that except for Revelation, who is both ableist and conniving. Because tone indicators would be like /lies, /joking, /gen. Who knows? I don't. But Revelation does. And now we're just gonna keep moving. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. In the middle of the night, Aurora did another funny thing where she followed her green dragon cat out into the snow. I don't think these bitches wore their boots, if I'm being so real, because you certainly didn't bring no jacket. And Nikita was like, oh no, Where'd the little spoon go? Fucking woke up immediately like some weirdo. Touch-starved freak, okay. And then you went, you also ran. Bougie was chasing a gold fox into a mysterious hole, and for some reason, all three of you decided a hole is the goal. So you went into the hole. It's summertime. You're in the Feywild or the Fey realm of this place. Some twink-looking blonde Legolas, probably sounds like Matthew Mercer guy showed up. Was like, "Hello, I'm the god of orgies." Confirmed that denim and Glocks exist. I don't think it's a dead name. I just think Emerald has a few names. You know, like maybe Bougie. Bougie's name is Emerald, but like maybe Bougie's Fae name is Emerald. The same way that like different cultures will have different names for kids, and then Bougie's American name is Bougie. You know, like that's the vibe. That maybe that's what's going on with Bougie. But that's what happened because Matthew Mercer like dropped that on us. And then also the gold fox is actually a dude named Silver, who's basically a glorified babysitter. I think they're fucking. Moving on, they were like, yeah, if you stay in this realm for too long, time gets weird. And they were like, okay, cool, we'll see you later. Goodbye, Fae god of orgies. And he was like, back at you. Catch me on Thursdays, Critical Role. And then they left and we ended there. No time really passed. 10 minutes was 10 minutes. Revelation missed all of that, and if Revelation finds out that she missed all of that, I think she'd be pissed. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty sure I got everything.
I don't know if I'm impressed or offended.
You
To
did
be
miss
honest.
something though.
You
I'm
did.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Charmy.
The very beginning when we talked to the Prorex and got the sigil for the teleportation.
Oh
circle.
god, yeah, that was all in the same damn episode. My mind split them.
Yep.
Yeah, we
that's
talked
all.
to the hot guy.
You
and he
did
gave
talk
us
to the
a
hot
circle.
guy.
Yeah, he gave us
He
a
did.
circle. He gave us a circle after he like fully assessed the party based on prerequisites he could have heard about. People got grades scored almost, like it was great.
What? Okay.
Her reputation preceded her.
Aki's not allowed to do recaps anymore.
No, let me. You guys were so entertained. I saw
Two.
you on the screen doing this.
2 luck die to Aki. I am a GM of my word after all. And now it is time to die. Just kidding. Let me swap the music out here.
I will say, you did end at like the like going back to bed after.
Mhm.
I just wanted to quickly ask, because I didn't do this. Do we bring it up in the morning as we're heading out?
Do we want it for ourselves?
Want what?
Keep it for the girls.
What happened in the
Nikita
evening?
gets a secret?
Oh, meeting Toron, the Lord of Glamour, who is not Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah, where did that come from?
Where did that
Because
come
no-
from?
No,
Anyway.
because when he was described, I literally pictured him as Matthew Mercer in a blonde wig. That's
is
why the Glock thing was so funny, guys.
I feel
Fucking
like this
funny.
is more about you than
This
it
is
about
this is way more about
It's like
Aki
headcanon.
than... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
What the fuck? That guy's everywhere. We do TTRPGs for a living. You're gonna say you don't like know who that is? Wait till you figure out who I picture Brennan Lee Mulligan is in this campaign.
We're squirreling, my friend.
Yeah, let's please move on. Okay, cool. So let's, please for love of God save me from this. Right, I can only save me because I'm the GM. So we're gonna roll to see what happens. Well, do you guys have anything you want to say to the rest of the party in the morning? Give me a little time while I roll to see what happens to you all next.
I did what?
What the fuck?
What's
I'm
happening?
sorry, Aki sent me something, and I asked for it, but Aki sent me something, and I wasn't ready.
Y'all.
I'm sorry. I was about to say something. Sid would want to talk to Rev in the morning.
Okay.
Mostly because of what Valdin said, and I if that's okay, Alyssa.
Yeah, I think that Rev is just looking around the little temple building we're in, seeing if there's anything people left behind other than the like altar items, but is totally down to talk.
Yeah, I think Sin just comes out and says it, and he says to Rev, he's like, "Can you tell me what's really gonna happen at the top of the mountain?"
I mean, I can't, but only because I'm not sure myself. It is a meteor shower.
I know that, and I believe you, but I also know you. And I feel like the desperation that you're showing is something beyond what you have said before.
It's a very significant meteor shower. It means a lot to me to see it. And actually, above table, Mandy,
Yes.
I know Asimar. And I know that I feel like you mentioned that it's not super well known, like, what the deal is. Is that accurate?
Your lineage is a complete mystery. While there have been legends of old of individuals with wings like your own, it is not normal. It is
fun.
very strange and abnormal to be the way you are. In fact, I would even go so far as to say, and I'm pretty sure I haven't fucked this up over time, lore-wise, you have never met somebody else like you. None of you have ever seen anyone like Revelation.
Yeah, so I think Rev just says, it's just really important that I get up there. I've been having visions, I guess, of it. Of the summit, of the shower.
Okay. It bothers me that people seem so annoyed by it when I think that, we would probably do this for anyone else. I think if I had something that was this important to me, I think you'd fight to do it. So I guess, but I just feel like there's something. I feel like people keep warning me to be careful around you. And it frustrates me, because I don't know. Valdin was like, if, she needs to know that if for there to be a world for your plans and desires to happen, there has to be a world for your plans and desires to happen. And I don't know. I feel like you know that. I feel like you wouldn't push us to go if you didn't think it wasn't important.
Rev stares at you, sort of a little carefully, a blank face. Veldin mentioned me specifically.
He seemed a little vague, but I kind of know when people are talking about you.
I don't think I'm the only one with plans in this group, and I certainly don't have any intention to end the world.
I don't think that's what he was implying. I think he was sort of saying, like, you gotta focus, or else the world will end and you won't be able to do anything that you want to do. And I was like, alright, cool, but I don't know. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you with this.
No, I appreciate you telling me. It's hard to explain why it's so important to me. And I know that you all don't really get it. It's not, as straightforward as Dayu wanting to go back to the burrow or something. But it is really important for me. And I think it would be worse. It would be more distracting if I didn't make it up there.
Okay. Well, whatever happens, I'm gonna get you up this mountain.
Thank you, Sinark. And she will lean down and give him a little kiss.
And he grins, and again, he looks, I think, like, again, ever since you guys left the Vale, rather than sort of seem like anxious to keep going, I think he seems very confident and sure of himself. Even though in the cold, the skin that is bare without fur from where that, like, head, where he almost got his head lopped off, seems very angry at the cold. But he seems pretty sure of himself. And he's just like, alright, should probably help pick up camp. I don't know if the weather's gonna get any better.
Well, it's not far to the Druid Enclave, at least. I hope.
Yeah, and apparently Veldin says I'll have a surprise there. I think he mentioned something like I'll fit in. I don't know how I'll fit in with other druids.
I mean, Rev thinks, because she knows about Sin's parents, but if he's not saying it, then she is also not going to say anything about the very obvious way he could fit in with a bunch of druids.
Bro, I just realized I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm actually not sure. Which I think is very funny. Shit, do you guys think that they're all tabaxi?
I thought your parents were up there, or they're like a bunch of tabaxi, but...
You'll have to find out.
I, straight up, no fucking clue. Didn't put that all together until you said that, and then it wasn't even what you were thinking. I'm proud of us. Scene.
And you pick up camp and you wonder about the weather, and in fact, the weather remains just as bad. that strange lightning moving through the snow clouds, through the sky, lighting up the dark gray atmosphere, the blowing blizzard-like winds. They do not stop. In fact, the further up you go, the worse it gets. Your trek leading up closer and closer towards where you hope to find the druid community gets slower. It's getting more difficult. It's almost as though the mountain itself is warning you not to go further. And the weather seems aligned with that, but you are resolute in your decision, and the Zareth clan druids are not far. You expect you should be able to find them this week. Assuming there's no further delays. The weather, as I said, is slowing you down. And when you think you hear thunder in the distance, snow pelting your faces and your jackets, wind blowing through your hair and your clothes, chilling you to the bone, and some of you maybe a little less so. Some of you are used to this. You do hear thunder in the distance. But then that thunder sounds almost like a voice. A roar, in fact. And you round a bend to reach a different area of the path. And you see a small area that is a little bit flat. It's a decently large, almost like a small field that has... You think for a second it might be clear, like there's not a lot of trees here, except you realize as you've gotten further and further up, the trees have become less obvious. And then you see like a smaller tree poking up through the snow. And if any of you stop to examine it, which I imagine Nikita would, or Kazuhiko would, when you look at it, maybe dig around some of the snow to see how young this tree is, how could a tree grow up here, you realize it's not a little tree. It's the top of a very big one. Completely impacted snow in this flat area. Buried by months, years of snow. Leveling out the space. But the space is not empty. Standing in the center of this space, embroiled in some kind of fight, is a massive silver dragon. And I don't know if this is the right tune. Sorry if it isn't. No, it is not. Excuse me. You see this large silver dragon absolutely decimating these black creatures, these black ooey gooey creatures, and you realize this dragon is fighting, festering in the snow. Silvery spines come off of the back of this thing, massive wings, encased in, well, not encased in frost, but definitely frost all over these wings of this beast. This massive silver dragon. And you watch as this draconic individual lays waste to these dire wolf-looking creatures. There's a horde of them. Some of them seemingly fused together, almost like multiple wolves in one form, trying to fight this dragon, trying to consume this dragon, but they stand absolutely no chance. And let's see. It seems far too distracted to see any of you. But this dragon with long, finned spines along its spine, very shiny even in the dim light, unleashes a breath of ice and lightning. Spews forth from its mouth, completely freezing the festering in place like a statue. And it is then, as the dragon turns and uses its massive tail to crush the festering into nothing, into dust, that it turns and notices all of you.
Are all dragons sentient? Like there's MILF dragon in Okurai.
To your knowledge, all dragons have some level of intelligence, yes.
Okay.
And this one is looking at you all, though it is, I wouldn't say breathing heavy with effort or anything like that. You can tell that clearly its guard is up. The frills along its jawline are extended out and alert. Its pupils are mere slits. But as it sees you, it seems to relax ever so slightly when it realizes that you are not these dark creatures. And you can see that there is an intelligence to the face of this dragon as it sniffs the air and turns its head in your direction, waiting.
Rev has sort of both hands up, trying to look harmless, placating, whatever, and will try speaking and just say, "We share a common enemy. We're on our way to visit the Druid Enclave."
Its posture, after it sniffs again, leans over this dust pile that it has just crushed, sniffs the air, makes a little bit of a face at the pile, not at you, but turns back in your direction, and as it moves, shaking the ground upon which you stand, boom, boom, crunching into the snow, massive footprints. Confusing to your own eyes, this thing changes shape as it walks and slowly shrinks down to the size of a human man with a long silver beard, long silver hair pulled back. He is an older man in wizard robes. They do not bear any insignia of any order. Deep silver robes with a slight sheen to them, not unlike his scales moments before. He has scales along his jawline, leading up towards pointed ears. He is weathered and wrinkled with age, and he smiles kindly at you as he approaches. "You have nothing to fear from me, child. Nothing at all. Tell me, who dares venture up this mountain so bravely?"
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this like a legend, like dragon up this mountain that Nikita's heard of? Like she's heard of dragons in the mountain before, but
Yeah.
like
You know what? Roll me a history check with advantage because you are from Elysia.
Thank you, because I'm also stupid. Okay, first one's an 18, so that's promising.
Okay.
Let's go, Nikita. 18, yeah.
Yeah. You think you know who this is. You remember Armagun telling you, as a child, a story of a kindly silver dragon known as Vestokir the Kind.
Holy shit. Nikita's kind of starstruck, I think, at this point. And I think she'll just, like, say Vestakir, like, under her, like, breath. So if y'all want to hear that.
I would like to hear that.
I would say all of you can hear that if you want, but so does Vestokir. Golden eyes with slitted pupils turn in your direction. Ah, I see my reputation precedes me. And you are?
Us, well, collectively, we are a group of envoy from the Veil of Night. I'm Aurora. That's Nikita. Gestures if people want to introduce themselves or if she's going to keep talking.
Sinark.
Revelation.
Oh my god, you're a dragon. Darius over here. Oh, so I was holding my breath the whole time.
Kazuhiko will bow slightly, respectfully. Kazuhiko, Red Fang. And Vestokir kind of... He actually, like, he smiles a little wider when you're like, oh my god, a dragon.
Are you
Yeah.
a dragon or a person? Just really curious.
I am indeed a dragon. I can take this shape, something that comes with the territory when you are as old as I am. You have a bit of dragon in yourself as well, it seems. He points to the scale patterns all over your skin.
Yeah, you're right.
Cousins, then, perhaps. He smiles.
Yes, and she holds up Bougie. Another cousin, younger little cousin.
Ah, yes. And he will, he'll step forward a little closer and very gently, like, offer his palm towards Bougie or Emerald or whatever you want to call him now. Holds his
Still
hand
Bougie
out.
for now.
Holds his hand out to Bougie, who, like, perks up, like, oh, I'm a big dragon too. And will give like a teeny bow because he is much younger than this particular dragon. You said we share a common enemy, is that right? He looks to Rev.
The festering you were fighting. Have there been many up on the mountain?
Not too many, but they have been venturing up here. They seem to be searching for something.
Yes, that's been our experience with them as well, down in Southmore. Are you a member of the Zareth clan?
Oh, no, I am not, but they are friends of mine. Are you searching for them, you said? You were an envoy from the Vale?
We are. We were sent by the Kaliko Shirai.
Ah. I see that your little hidden country down in the valleys are doing well then, I hope.
There's an urgency to why we're here that has to do with the festering.
They've been better.
Yes, these things smell quite, he makes a little bit of a face, unnatural. unnatural at best.
They smell like shit.
That is a way to put it, yes.
Do you remember the shattering? Were you around when the shattering happened?
He hesitates a little bit. I do remember some of it, but I was young then.
Understood.
Do you have a specific question, young one?
Do you know anything about Hakanor?
You can see his expression changes, and he looks a little bit severe. I do.
He points at the dust that has been scattered, that is like the black dust of the festering. He's like, these are minions of his.
That makes sense. They do smell of him somewhat. He shakes his head. It was not always so, but he was corrupted.
Do you know
And
why?
I don't think anyone does. Why does anything grow ill? Why does anything change? Sometimes it is simply the nature of fate. But no, I don't think anyone knows why the lawful should become the destroyer. But I remember.
I might
Sin
be
is-
mixing something up. Ooh. Sorry, my mic is.
I can't hear you now. Are you trying to talk?
No, I was like low-key mumbling to myself because I might be mixing
Okay.
facts up in my head. So I'm going to go look through our notes. But I didn't mean for I thought my mic was off while I was mumbling to myself.
It's okay.
Gotcha. Sin just looks like he's like trying to like calculate information now, and then sort of again is sort of leaving the floor open for someone else to talk to. Our lovely dragon friend, whose name I did not write down.
His name is Vestokir, Vestokir.
Such a cool name,
Vestokir,
Mandy.
the kind. Thank you. I made it myself.
I almost got it. I gave it a Y.
Aurora will ask, if you're from around here and able to fly around and stuff, do you know where the druids of this area are? Could you let us know how far we have to go?
Oh, you perhaps have a couple days' travel if you continue on this path before you reach the camp. And if you have writs from the Caligo Shire, I expect they will welcome you with open arms. And he kind of glances over at Senark a little bit, like he recognizes you. Are you one of the druids? You should know this area, no?
Oh, no, sir. My parents were druids, but I grew up alone in the Vale of Night.
He nods. I see. These old eyes aren't what they used to be then.
I mean, I think I look like whatever I look like.
There are more like you. At the camp. More of your kind.
Oh,
It is a nice thing to see. Before the shattering, I understand there were many more of you. Cat folk. It is good to see ones of your ilk here. You are most welcome here. All of you are.
The man was stunned into silence.
That's very kind of you. I guess that's why
course.
they call you
Now,
that.
though
Kind.
this... Don't call me that for nothing, I suppose. Though I certainly did not choose the title. This area of the mountain is my domain, so you are safe here. Further up, I cannot speak to such. There are others here. Ancient Mother is here. There are others
Who's
as
that?
well. He kind of raises a brow. I would say the best way to describe Ancient Mother is she is the soul of this mountain. And should you be so lucky as to see her, ever, consider it a great blessing. But she slumbers deep within the mountain.
Cool. Is this your storm? And Aurora kind of gestures towards the ongoing event.
Would that I could affect the weather here. I would make it much safer for travelers. No, that is far beyond myself. Though I could theoretically make it worse. Given that it is my domain, I have no desire to do so.
Thanks. I thought maybe it's like I can feel it, ongoing up there.
The Elder Tempest grows restless.
This is another person of the mountain.
It is
Creature? Being?
a force of nature. A elemental personification of weather. Pray that you do not encounter it. If you do, that means it is no longer in a neutral state, and can be quite dangerous.
That's good to know, thanks. What exactly does the personification of weather look like?
A very long dragon with many wings. Feathered wings. In the shape of it, anyway. But it is the storm personified.
Wow, okay.
The lightning, he points up. That is what that is from.
You don't know any shortcuts to the druids, right?
There are no
Or-
shortcuts. The path is what it is. Were I the only dragon on this mountain, I expect I could shape it how I wish, but one must share with neighbors. He smiles.
So, if I'm correct, after your domain, then it's 2 days of travel to the druids.
Oh, they live within my domain. You will still
that-
be there.
Perfect.
Would you like company? I should report this happening.
Of course, and we could also provide more information on the festering if you'd like.
Ah, an exchange of information. I think that would be most amenable to the druids and also myself.
We also have soup.
She makes great soup.
smiles oh so warmly at you. Do you now? What sort?
I have 10 really big jars.
Oh.
And they have different broths, so you just need to tell me and maybe I'll have it.
Well, that would be lovely. How about this? How would you like a ride? Make your journey a little faster.
Yes, please. Yes, please. That would be amazing.
All right.
Wait. Before we go, I need GM. So the festering
Yeah.
was frozen and then crushed. Ice shatters. It's a shot in the dark, but the festering is like tar color. There are can I I have like I have more than jars. I have vials too. But like I want to see if I could collect
Wanna go,
some of it.
see if you can collect some samples since it's still frozen?
Yeah. Because we've
Absolutely.
never been able to
Yep.
get any form of samples
Yep.
safely, and this seems like the safest way to do it right now.
Yeah, you head over there and you see that there are still frozen, shattered pieces. You can see that some of it is kind of smoking a little bit, like it's trying to melt its way through. Some of it is wiggling ever so slightly as though it is trying to reform itself. But it is in a million pieces, completely like in dust in some places. There's no way this thing will be able to form again in any kind of meaningful way. Not in its current state. Even if it thaws out, I don't think it probably wouldn't.
Oh, look at that. It's still trying to reform. And I'm just gonna like pull out my little vials and I'm gonna collect a few samples. Like maybe 2 vials of samples because I'm just worried about like we're separating them, but like,
Yep.
on the off chance that they do the weird Hydra thing where it's like, haha, now there's
Now
more.
there's more.
I don't
No, you can.
I know you just said it was like basically safe, but I don't want to give it no chance.
You can. Sorry, I'm letting the dog in. Hey, buddy, come here.
Dayu has a right to be paranoid, I think, here.
So paranoid.
Yeah, you absolutely can pull it together. Come here, bud. He's getting into trouble in the hallway. I gotta let him in. Come here, you. Sweet little bean. Come here.
Wyatt, my friend, come.
Break.
Puppy
I'm
break.
so,
Puppy break.
Puppy at my
Puppy
door
break.
being like, hang out
I'm
with
so
me.
glad I took Mage Hand for this too, because I don't want to touch it.
Okay.
But I have Mage Hand, so Mage Hand can scoop it into the vial for me.
Yes. So yeah, you don't have to touch it. You can use your boot, kick some snow into a jar, whatever works for you. Whatever your method, you can do it. So you disorientation. You collect your sample in whatever vessel you choose, and you now have a small amount of frozen, shattered pieces of festering. And will likely remain frozen as long as you are up on this mountain. So,
I got it.
Sin is so excited. Sin is trying to be really cool. Sin is trying to be so cool about this. But Sin is like, we're gonna ride a dragon. Is there anything that anyone feels nervous about?
Funny you say that, actually. Smar. And she's going to grab Smar and also grab the scarf sash thing that Aurora gave her. And she's gonna kind of like wrap it around her in like a baby thing and
Yeah?
put him close to her.
Fucking baby Bjorn!
Little baby
Bjorn, yeah, baby Bjorn.
little baby Bjorn for your
So-
flying squirrel child. I love it.
Yeah, because I don't want him to be like hanging onto her hair like.
Hold on for dear fucking life.
That's great.
I love
So
it.
he's gonna be right here.
Love it. Yeah, so you're able to wrap him up. And once everybody gives their consent, if anybody says no, he will simply offer to walk with you to the next point. Does anybody say no? You're allowed to say
Ride.
We're riding this dragon.
no. All right, okay. Well, I don't know if any of your characters have fears of certain things, you know. So
I have a wizard back home.
This guy just killed it. This
True.
guy just killed it. I'm so safe.
Abuelita Hiragon.
He will move a safe distance away before turning back into his dragon form. And he will kind of like half kneel so you all can clamber up onto his back. And you can use rope if you want to. He'll tell you that you can do that ahead of time, something to hold on to. He'll help you with that also. But you can tell he is being very, like, careful with you guys. Extremely so. And you lift off. And your trek of 2 days turns into a very short flight. Of just a you know, God, like more than cut in half, way more than that, a few hours, not even, and probably only because of the wind. If it was a clear day, probably would have been there in under an hour. But the issue is blizzards and winds, and he has to fly carefully with people on his back. So it takes perhaps a little bit longer than it would if he was by himself. But before long, you alight back down onto the mountain. There wasn't much to see up there other than snow and cloud and lightning in the distance. But when you land, you find yourselves outside of an interesting rock formation that kind of juts up and is made of a different kind of rock than what you've seen of the mountain, which makes it stand out a little bit. There are large wooden gates with painting in druidic and druidic symbols, pretty much that symbolize the Zareth clan, which was once a clan of giants in ancient days. And as you land in this area, the druids in the area, who are mostly wearing like white and dark browns and different colors that represent the mountain, some with like highlights of bright colors, kind of like a splash of color in case someone is lost in the snow, something to stand out. And they'll clear back as I almost said the wrong dragon name, Vestikir, will land in this area, and he will let you all down before returning to his human form, which is good because a giant silver dragon can't fit through those gates at all without destroying all the things around it. So you find yourselves outside of a bustling little community where many druids, got dragons on the brain, y'all. Many druids, approach you, and don't seem to treat you with any wariness because you are with Vestikir the Kind. You see dogs running about, children, other, variety of druids, most of whom appear to be of the Goliath variety, but there's also dwarves, some elves, and that's what you see so far. Vestikir will walk up with you to a tall, well, because that's a Goliath individual, a man, who is holding a large, very large club-like staff, and he, Vestikir, will say, "Ah, Turale, it is good to see you, my friend." And Turale will turn to you all and say, "Yes, hello, it seems you've brought some guests, Vestikir. Who are your friends?" And you guys can do introductions and show your paperwork and all of that. When you explain that you are from the Vale of Night, the brows go up, and he goes, "Oh, well, we can show you the place of power here, but it is well kept. It is undisturbed. But you are welcome to seek some refuge here, since you've come all this way."
That will be lovely. Thank you.
Of course.
It's the one in Southmore had been, well, the area had also been attacked by the festering, and the oath broke. Well, not the tablet with the oath literally broken.
Oh, that is most dire.
But we
And-
fixed it.
You fixed it. Well, good. That is important. Otherwise, you'd have to go back to Southmore. He slaps his knee. That would be quite the trip, wouldn't it? To come up all this way and have to go back to Southmore. Come in. Let's get out of this weather. And he'll
This guy's a
motion-
weenie.
I love him.
motion
I
through
love
the
him.
open gates. He's just a dude, you know?
Yeah.
That's
We're definitely
Turale.
left.
Turale. He is
Turale.
he is an archdruid.
Mandy is killing it with all the names tonight, and I love it.
Let me write down which archdruid you meet. You met Turale. Terale. So, Charlie will lead you in. Vestikir comes with you all because he's very curious to know. Like, he's clearly very curious to know more about the festering. He wants to know about what you all are doing, what your quest is. He wants to know what you are like as people. He's very intrigued about you all, which is interesting because he's a dragon. Normally dragons don't give a shit about mortals. But Turale will turn to you all as you walk through the gates. You see there are all manner of stone-like structures, structures built from ice, structures built from ice and stone, all manner of which. Some areas, there's like little stalls. There's no like... It's like a teeny tiny market just for the people who live there, so it's like very small. It's not for travelers, but they will share with travelers who make it up this far. And just all manner of druids walking around. Some don't look quite as druidy as you would expect. Some of them look like rangers. Some of them look like fighters. Or more athletic types and less magic-y types. But yeah, a lot of them wearing like different furs and neutral colors and splashes, like single splashes of color, like a sash or a scarf or a belt or something to help them stand out against the snow, in most cases. Does anybody say anything as Turale leads you through?
I think Nikita's just taking everything in, personally. I think she's starstruck by Investicure. She's like, oh my god, the stories. And yeah, just watching, taking it in.
Yeah, I realized I didn't tell you what the stories were about. Oh shit. Excuse me. Trying to add notes in here. What episode is this? 48.
48.
I hate when Google Sheets does that. Oh well, I'll fix it later. Legends about Vesticure the Kind, while you all think about what to ask Tirale. Vesticure the Kind is a storied individual who was known to be an ally to the sages during part of the Shattering. And there are stories about Vesticure following that time period into the current era of more mortal realm. So the post-Shattering era of Terra. And he is known to help travelers on the mountain if they make it into his domain. He is known to keep other dragons who are not as nice as him in the Celestial Mountain Range at bay from harming others as much as he has the ability to do so. And through these children's stories, you learn bits and pieces of draconic law. They have laws that they operate by, heavily surrounded around lairs and domain. And dragons are bound by those laws, through magical means or otherwise, to respect the domains of other dragons. Obviously, there are, this wasn't part of children's stories, but there are exceptions to that rule, especially if dragons have beef and they want to fight for territory. But something you do know is that Vesticure has done everything he could to prevent additional evil dragons from taking residence specifically on Mount Ceres, which is to say there are other dragons on this mountain and they are not good. Which is why he warned you, others like me will not be good. They will not be nice. And they will certainly not be merciful. So, that is what you know. He's known to be kind and save people. There's a shrine to him somewhere on this mountain, but you haven't seen it yet. Or if you passed it, maybe it was buried.
I have a pair of questions for Tirale.
Okay.
Sin is just like, how long have you been? You're like the lead druid, right? You're like big boss.
He raises a brow at you. Well, I would love for you to say that to Lynn. She would not be happy to hear that I'm the big boss now. No, while I am big, I'm the big boss. I am not the boss. Lynn and Loris would take care of that.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm used to the Vale, where there's the Caligo Shire, so there's like several of you. Yes, okay, yes.
Oh, there's 5 of us, in fact. There's Lynn, she's... Don't tell her I said this. She's the queen of the mountain. There's Lynn, there's Loris, there's myself, there's Arendelle, and there's Madras. 5 of us have kept this outpost safe for many a year.
Gotcha.
Though, I'm the only one who's actually of the Zareth bloodline. I'm the last one. Well, not the last one, I'm just the last archdruid of the bloodline. My kids are over there, he points. His family. There's like a little hut over there where there's like a femme Goliath and little Goliath children running around. There's quite a few of them, so clearly he's got a bloodline going.
Let's go. My mic is still fucking on. How is this happening?
She says, let's fucking go, and forgets that she's not on mute. I love it.
I cheer like vocally all the fucking time, and I was gonna say something else, and I see my fucking thing. How is it? When was it on?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's been on, baby.
It's been on.
It's been on.
It truly has.
Yeah, I love this man. And Sinark, Sinark feels very much at ease with Terale, and it's just like, oh, and when was the last time you all visited the place of power? Do you congregate at the place of power?
All the time. We regular upkeep all the time. The entire complex is built around it.
This place probably isn't. Well, we'll discuss more when we're inside.
Of course, and he'll kind of lead you, and you're free to chat with him as you do, but he's leading you down like the main thoroughfare of this settlement to a large cave. Basically, it's like, unlike the rest of the mountain, it kind of seems to meld into the regular mountain stone. The mountain stone itself is like grays and slate color and white from the snow and like all this stuff. You can tell where it's settlement and where it's not because the stone is red. Like desert stone almost. Like reddish brown. And it seems to be melded in some places into the mountainous stone. And this red stone has like a band almost that kind of forms into and over this cave mouth that is naturally part of the Mount Ceres part of the stone that leads into this cave. And so this red stone has banding that kind of meshes into the gray, almost as though it was crafted to look that way. And hanging from the tops of this entrance are little ropes with offerings tied to them, little notes rolled up in like a little scroll, little trinkets like stones and little wood fixtures. Not in like the creepy Blair Witch kind of way, but like kids made it kind of way. Little wind chimes hanging down. It's like this wide open space. There's no gate. But as you walk up to this large opening in the stone, you see Terale pause at the head of the group. Vestikir immediately also pauses and kind of motions for you all to do the same so you don't walk into them. And he will reach a palm out of the hand that is not holding his staff, and he will touch the air, and you see it ripples from where he touches like water. And you see as this force field just ever so slightly, subtly ripples like water, silvery almost for a moment, opens enough for all of you to walk through. It appears to be open, but it is not. He looks over his shoulder and kind of smirks a little bit. Did you fall for the illusion? And he will step through.
Sin looks very impressed. So he probably is very happy with that. Sin looks incredibly impressed, and he leans over to like Rev, and he's like, "Can you do that yet?"
I haven't tried.
So cool. I bet you can do that. It's like super. The silver shimmers were like super pretty too, like the moon, you know, and like the sky. So it reminds me. And then he stops talking.
Yeah. What's it remind you of, Sid?
Is this you asking, or is this Rev
that's you, Alyssa. Sorry.
Because Sin will say if Rev demands he finish that thought, but no, he just looks a little embarrassed.
So you all step through?
Nikita very hesitant, but yes.
Oh yeah, it doesn't look like the portal. It doesn't look like the portal.
Yeah, this is weird.
You step through the opening in the barrier, and whoever is last, I expect Nikita. Nikita, you will feel the air shift as the barrier closes behind you.
Ugh.
It is a little weird. Feels a little weird. Those of you who do not have druidic magic feel disconnected from your power. And the second you register that, Tarale will say, I forgot to mention, your magic will be dampened in here. It's just a safety precaution. Happens to me too, well, somewhat. Nothing to worry about.
I travel with my sister. How's my sister's spirit? Like,
She-
what does...
She is not here.
Oh, that's worrying.
Trolley will pause and turn when you say that. Are you alright? Suddenly very serious from his goofy disposition.
I think so. I usually travel with the spirit of my dead sister, so I can't see her right now.
Oh. Well, this space does not destroy spirits or the undead. It's possible that she is simply not visible, but present.
Okay, I need you to repeat a little bit of that because I don't know why I'm not registering what you just said.
It's nothing to worry about. She is still present, but your ability to see her, perhaps, is dampened here because of the barrier. He points to the entrance again. And we have this in place to protect the place of power so that if there's any intruders, they are less able to... what's a nice way to put this? There isn't a nice way to put this. Fuck shit up. But it's
Does it also
it's
apply to items or
applied to who?
items?
Items? Like magic items?
Yes.
He thinks. I don't know. I didn't really give it any thought. Probably.
Untouched sword, still with light.
It does not light. Hey, look! Okay, it dampens everything. Unless you're a druid.
When Nikita asks about that, I am trying to check in emotionally with my sword, which is a funny thing to say.
Dirk is a little different. You feel his emotions? He feels a little uncomfortable, but it's muted. It's not loud like it usually is in your mind. Because usually it's like feelings, like in your brain all the time of whatever he's feeling. But right now it's like feelings, like quieter. Nobody clipped that, I swear to fucking God.
Well, now that you said that.
God damn it. But yeah, you can still feel your connection to Dirk, but it is... The volume is turned from 11 down to, like, 2.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I really should have warned you before that I got wrapped up in our conversation. It's temporary, I promise. When we leave, after I show you the place of power, everything will come back.
Okay.
You're safe here. Everything is... Truly.
It just feels like you cut one of my ears off, that's all.
Oh. I will do a better job
so
in the future of warning
quiet.
you. You see spirits, do you?
Yeah.
Kazuhiko looks the most relaxed he's been in like months. He's like, this is nice, can we stay in here?
if you want to, this is getting real weird for me.
Kazuhika's not he's not immune to it yet. There's a vast difference between you two there.
I feel like I'm yelling. Like I can hear all of me.
If it makes you feel any better, you're pretty quiet compared to me. Slaps knee again, and he'll turn around and he'll turn around.
I fully picture this giant man lifting his full knee up to like 90, like not 90, but you know what I mean, like when you have to lift your knee up high.
That is
and then
exactly
just smacking it.
You are correct. You are absolutely correct. That is exactly what
Very
he's doing.
rigid motion, you know. So it's like that's like 5 frames.
Yeah.
I have another question for the magically inclined, just because of what we saw outside. I don't know if you know this, but for those of us, the festering, were they specifically magical? Or what kind of, I don't know, flags did they wave for you guys? I don't know how this shit works. I'm just making sure that they actually can't get in here. If that's the case, that's incredible.
Let me think. Actually, now I'm gonna make y'all roll for it. Roll me a d20 to see if you recall this. I want this to apply to everyone at the table. Everyone roll me a d20. Because this is something you might have seen before.
Natural 20.
Excellent.
Hell yeah. 2.
Makes sense.
I also got a 2.
Hey!
I'm sorry,
9.
your roll was too well timed
9?
with what I said.
Perfect.
What did
2,
Rev get?
2, 8, 9, nat 20.
What'd you get, Rev?
Rev was a 9.
Oh, okay. Dayu.
Fitting.
This is so funny. Maybe because your brain is quiet in this moment, that your recollection is just so clear. The barrier you just saw on the mouth of this cave looks so similar to the barrier of night. Not the same, but very similar. And as far as you know, the festering haven't been in the Veil of Night.
Oh, your barrier is like the Veil's barrier.
Gold star for the bunny!
Oh,
He actually pulls a little pouch from his belt, and he opens it up and he pulls out a little trinket. It's like a stone that looks like a star, and he hands it to you. It's not gold, but
Oh my fucking god, you're fucking joking!
he just kind of ties up the little pouch and puts it back on his belt.
Wait, do I get to keep the rock?
Yes.
Oh,
Return it by midnight.
Wait, does Dayu ask him that, or are you asking that?
This is both in and out of character.
Okay,
I
so-
said it in my voice. Yeah.
Okay, so when you ask, can I keep this rock? Terale is like, well, I certainly wasn't loaning it to you. Big belly laugh. He's got a little bit of what you would expect to be kind of a beer gut. He's not ripped. He's definitely dad bod Goliath.
This is so cool. and I hee hee while I go keep it in my bag full of things.
When he leaned down to hand you the stone, you notice something about this man. He's got pointed ears, which is not normal for Goliath. He also, near his hairline, almost hidden by his hair, he's got little bumps on his forehead, almost like maybe horns could be there, but they're just bumps.
Beef Goliath.
Oh, that's cool.
If you recall, players at the table,
Teeth.
Aegon Zareth is half tiefling, half Goliath, and he had horns and a tail. This man has very slight tiefling vibe, but largely looks Goliath, no tail. Just pointed ears and ever so slight horns that never seemed to fully come through, perhaps because the bloodline is diluted at this point generations down.
Oh, you're so cool. Do you want a petrified worm?
Of course.
I give him a petrified worm.
Vestikir just kind of smiles and like shakes his head ever so slightly, like he expected this. You got the goof nugget of the archdruids. That's the one you ended up. You ended up with the one who's related to the sage. All right,
I love
so
that goof nugget.
he is a goof nugget. It's true. So you continue a little further in, and he kind of motions to some things. He goes, "Well, we hold our festivals in here, especially when we want everybody to be able to take a break. We, there's other chambers here that we use for storage, this, that, and the other. And as you get further in, he says, and in here, and you see that there is another shimmering doorway. Okay. Warning, everybody. Sorry, I promise I won't get wrapped up in conversation again. I'm so bad at that. Don't tell Ceylin. She will be so upset with me. When we enter this space, you will have no magic. It is temporary. Is that okay? This is where the place of power is.
I have no magic.
Double barrier. Finger guns. He does finger gun at you. Double barrier. Is that okay?
I guess we don't really have a choice, right?
I mean, everything's intact. We check on it, not every day, but practically. But if you want to see it for yourselves, you can tell the Kaligo Shire that everything is okay. Everything is fine. And if you want to send one person, if you don't all want to go, that's okay too. You can leave whenever you want. You're not trapped in here.
No, I mean,
the block is only one way. Like, in is blocked, but you can leave if you don't want to.
yes, I've been without magic before.
He's like trying to like assure you that everything is okay.
Sin is bursting at the seams to get into this room. Like, he is so fascinated by everything. He's just like whatever, no magic, like my life.
Okay, well, you have a lot of magic users, so I'm warning you this time, since I did a bad job the first time.
I appreciate that.
Follow
You're a really
me.
good guy, Drale.
I, try my best.
Now you sweating buckets.
He's like, Sinark, you're a cool guy too, and he'll like touch the barrier, and the whole thing opens up. Because it's a much smaller opening. Now, it's still pretty big. Much larger than you need to walk through. But he takes the barrier down so you don't freak out this time. Because he doesn't want any of you to be uncomfortable. But after you step in, whoever does step in, it will go back up. And you will be cut off from your magic if you are a magic user and you step into this room. That means...
Also druids?
Also druids. Well,
Okay.
you, because you're not strong enough to resist it.
Boo.
You're not an archdruid. Much as you would like to be. You are not yet there. So, as you step in, what you find is like a ceremonial space. It's clearly quite ancient. It is carved from... music is not... I don't know if this is accurate either. Hey, are you scratching your ears? Don't do it. We're dealing with allergy season, folks.
I thought you were talking to me because I was
Nope.
scratching my head. I was like, oh shit, I stopped.
Aki in her chair like...
Oh, this music is scary. This music is scary. I don't like this music. Sorry, hold on. Sure, this works. So what you find in here is it is clearly an ancient space. Much of it is carved from a mixture of this reddish and gray stone, almost like stone was melded here by druids that doesn't match the mountain on purpose to almost kind of like stake their claim in this space. So all these different ribbons of red and brown stone melding with the gray, you realize is not natural. It has been put here. But you see large stone slabs that have offerings on them that are well kept and dusted. It is clean in here. It is warm. Probably the warmest you've been in a week and a half. You find that though you feel no magic in this space, you feel extremely safe here. And in the center back of the room is a statue of... What is the best way to describe this? It is a tiefling woman with large angel wings, like feathered wings. And she is holding a staff. And the staff you recognize because it is the same staff that Aegon Zareth was holding in the statue of him in the Hallowgate Necropolis. You expect that this might have been the originator of the Zareth clan. And just in front of the statue is another stone slab table of this marbled stone that seems to have been crafted by the druids. And on it sits more offerings, and in the center of it all, a stone tablet, perfectly intact. There are braziers in the corner, lighting this space with seemingly eternal flame, keeping this place warm and lit. But that is what you see here.
Sin's a little overcome by this place and this feeling, and yeah, I think he just calls it beautiful, and is sort of like almost bouncing around like he never expected to be let into a place like this before. Like this, he is allowed, he is welcomed here, and he's like trying not to like bounce off the walls like a little kid as he like walks around and like takes a look at everything.
At this, Tirale will kind of smile at your excitement, and he'll say, feel free to look around, whatever makes you comfortable. But as you can see, the accord is intact. But
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
I was going to say, I took a rubbing of this tablet in Southmore after Aurora fixed it, because I couldn't read that one, but is it the same message? Like, it looks the same, this one?
It's the same.
Okay.
Yep, it's the same.
Forgive me, my mind is still on the attack from earlier outside. Is everything safe? I would hate... Do you have people watching outside?
Always.
Well, we're in here. Okay. This...
Always.
It's very nice to see that it's protected.
You have
The
seen...
veil.
It sounds like you have
sorry.
seen terrible things.
We have seen some shit.
What was Rev gonna say, Melissa?
The veil has protection from the festering, and this place does as well. Do you know about the other places of power, about other druid enclaves? I don't understand why Southmore wouldn't.
Well, Valdin has been gone for some time. Perhaps the magics were not well maintained in his absence. Perhaps something happened. Were there no druids there when you went to... You went into the Undercity? All of you?
Yes.
He looks surprised. And Vestikir says, "Brave adventurers indeed."
The festering. All the druids there were killed.
The two men exchange a look like, what?
They were able to return to bodies once we helped. Once Aurora fixed the tablet.
The mechanisms failed. Fascinating. Terrifying.
That's why I have worry.
We shall be more vigilant, but I expect the other archdruids will want to hear more about this festering. We have seen some on the mountain, not near the settlement, but perhaps a little too close for my comfort. Vestikir and I have been doing what we can to keep them at bay, though thankfully there do not seem to be many up this high. I'm not sure that they can survive in this climate.
They seem very fire-focused.
Well, lucky for us, then. He grins. We'll have to freeze them out.
Sin looks at the rest of the group and he looks worried, but he doesn't hide this from Vestikir or Tirale, and is like, if the veil isn't failing from here, it's gotta be at one of the other places of power.
So the Barrier of Night is not doing well. This is grave indeed.
That's really why we're here. It's not just one that's an issue, or else it would have been fine when we went back.
Having our isolated communities does have both its benefits and its curses, it seems. Arguably, other than, save for going to the prismatic throne, which don't expect any of you can breathe underwater. This is probably one of the more difficult settlements to reach, given, he gestures where we are. I could not possibly imagine that Morrigan's domain is compromised. But he
Wood
kind of
burns.
he thinks woods burn. And Vesta's domain, though it is not hers any longer, is that of the wildfire and could likely withstand such things. I don't know, can the festering swim?
We haven't tried dropping them in water.
They don't have souls. I don't think they can breathe.
They aim to destroy, from what we've seen.
Primal force of nature. That sounds all too familiar. This is grave indeed. Come. Let's speak with the rest of the Archdruids so you don't have to repeat yourselves. And he will, unless you stop him, he will lead you out of this place. And the further you walk away from... Sorry, go ahead.
Just as we're about to leave, just Aurora wants to ask, can you touch the tablet just for a reassurance that it's, fine, physically there?
He'll pick it up. Everything's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Did you want to examine it?
No,
Would that-
I mean, I had magic to help me before. I don't really have any right now, so I don't know what to do with it, but at least we know it's, in one piece.
Vestikir kind of chuckles a little bit. I think you have a great deal more than you think you do. And at that, Tarale will actually hand you the tablet. Please. You said you repaired the
Well, I was
other
gonna
one.
look
How
at
did
it.
you go about doing that, child?
Aurora will look down at the tablet and say, I just reached out with, I'm remembering this correctly, Mandy, my blood,
Mm-hmm.
and was able to mend it.
Vestikir and Tarale kind of look at each other like, what? Like, they're like surprised.
That not
Would you-
normal?
Would you mind terribly demonstrating? Vestikir also looks very interested. Could you, if you're not comfortable, it's fine. But
Oh.
I should like to see such power.
I mean, I don't know if I can do it on command, but I'll try. Aurora will take out her father's dagger, her sister's dagger.
Mhm. Yep.
And just make a small cut in her hand. Press it to the tablet.
When you cut open your palm, you feel that feeling again. And as you touch your palm and crimson blood touches stone, the tablet, the writing on the tablet, glows. Faint blue color. And Tarale and Vestikir gasp in shock. My child, I expect we are a great deal more than cousins.
What?
Cousins?
You mean you could do this if you shared your blood?
He smiles and replicates exactly what you did.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay, that's not what I expected.
What does your magic look like typically?
Well, like lightning.
Blue dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if your ancestor yet lives.
You think it's possible?
My dear, you are descended from us. You are very special indeed. I can smell it. He points to the blood on the stone. You are one of us. Perhaps you do not
And
have the
Annie was
form of
right.
such, but you are one of us.
my Nana told me, but I didn't really understand what it meant, but wow. How do you get your form? That would be really cool to be able to be physically like you too. Strong, large.
You mean a dragon form?
Mm-hmm.
I expect with a little polymorph you could do the same. It's not quite the same as being a dragon, but with magic you could achieve a similar effect. Keep honing your craft.
Great idea.
And perhaps when you've gotten a little further, I should like to teach you.
Really?
Yes, of course. If you don't find your ancestor before the end of your journey, seek me out. I will wait for you.
This is
Thank
a
you.
cool uncle.
And Aurora is going to hug him, whether or not he accepts it. Is up to him.
He's surprised at first because he's a dragon. He's not used to people hugging him. Usually they stay away out of like reverence or whatever. But the rest of you see him. He just kind of a little smile and he'll like hug you back, like one arm hug.
I appreciate it very much, and it's really, really nice to meet you. And I guess here's your stone back.
Terale will very gently take the tablet back and put it very reverently and carefully back in place. And he was like, even if you drop it, it won't break. It takes some serious magic to break these things. And the fact that you could repair it, remarkable.
Then what? Well, how much magic would broke the one in Southmore?
Well, if magic is weak enough, it can be broken. Something must have happened in the Undercity. I wish Valdin was here. He would be able to explain.
Um,
Oh, my godfather. Crotchety old bastard. Wonder when he wakes up next.
I think he might be well on his way.
Heads turn in your direction. Let's talk about this more outside. I suddenly need something to drink. Belly laugh, knee slap, lead you out of the cave.
Nikita's gonna like gently like rub Aurora's back as we walk out.
Sid is gonna excitedly say, "Always told you were special."
Thanks.
I'm just glad someone else told you to.
She grabs Nikita's hand, and then after a hesitating moment, grabs Sin's as well, and heads out.
And I think right there, before we reconvene with the rest of the Archdruids who you have yet to see, we will take our break. So we're going to take a little break, 10, 15 minutes, I don't know. I have to fix the thermostat. It's fucking sweltering in here. I'm literally dying. So we will see you in, I'm going to call it 15. Fuck it. We'll see you in 15. Yeah. Everybody hydrate, stretch, have a little snack, and we'll see you soon. Hello, everybody. We're back. Headaches abounds. Everybody is here. Alyssa's gonna be off camera. And I am still a sunglasses boy. Finger guns. So, context for all the folks who came in later, past the beginning of the session. I have a headache, but I want to play D&D, so sunglasses. It helps a little bit, and I'll take it. Why not? So we're gonna pick up right, hiding those red eyeballs. They're not red. Not right this moment. They will be later. Because I can't GM when I'm stony baloney. So we're gonna... I really am just Terale for real. Knee slaps and all. So we're just gonna jump right back into it. So Terale and Vestikir are leading you to meet with the remainder of the Archdruids in the... God, why can I never remember the names that I fucking made up? The Zareth clan druids. It's because there's so much. How do other GMs do this? I never remember my own shit. It's because I wrote it 2.5 years ago. And anyway, it's all coming back to me now. We're just gonna go right back to it. Vestikir is chatting with Aurora as you all are walking to wherever Terale is taking you. And Vestikir will at some point kind of lean over to Aurora, and he just kind of like, you know, he's like, he was interested in you all initially, like from a very genuine standpoint, but now he's like really intrigued about you, Aurora. Like he'll say, I apologize if my enthusiasm is excessive. I want to be so incredibly clear. People are not related to dragons. You are unique.
Like really no other people.
Like no other people.
I think my nanny said I was the third one.
You can see that he's like processing this information, like, oh. So you are part of a bloodline.
Yeah.
Interesting. Your powers, they are inherent?
Yes. Yes, they're related. I mean, I didn't even really know I had any until pretty recently, only a couple of years ago-ish. So, yeah.
He kind of runs his fingers like over his very long beard, this grandfatherly looking individual, as he thinks about what you said. Perhaps I should pay a visit to the Vale when all of this is settled. I think
that would be cool. We have
think
a dragon in the Vale.
I should like to meet your family. I want to understand the history of your clan.
Okay, that might be tricky. Some part of it is more interested in talking about that than others. So just I'll explain when you come to visit, but you know. We'll go see Nanny Opal.
Nanny Opal. I look forward to meeting this Nanny Opal. I am intrigued. And I suppose I should pay a visit to Irgon.
Yes. You do know them.
Well, we don't all know each other, but yes. Yes, I am familiar with the Lady of the Skies, though she is a bit younger than myself.
Eyes bugging out at Nikita over this tidbit of lore. That is so cool. I would love to have you visit the Vale, you know. I guess, after we deal with this problem.
Yes. That would be best. no point in planning visits if there's a world to save. Again. I should like for longer than 1500 years break in between shatterings. That would be... He kind of... It would be nice to not have another one. I do not know that this planet could take such an event. Oh, somebody's mic is hot mic'd? Nope, it's gone. We're good. You're okay. And not to worry, your family... I want to be clear, I'm intrigued to meet your family. Your family is not in trouble. They haven't done anything wrong, either. It just is... He kind of thinks like he's trying to think of how to talk about this. It is unprecedented.
So, like, there was probably magic involved.
Yes. I would expect so, but, I suppose it's not impossible for a humanoid and a dragon to, well, I could turn into a humanoid, so... He thinks about that for a second. Oh, that's a bit more than I was...
But you never fell in love?
Certainly not with
a human, I mean.
Not with a humanoid, no.
Have you been to other planets?
He blinks. Huh?
You said this planet, as if there were other ones that you've been to.
He kind of tilts his head. No. I have not
Okay, cool.
left Terra, no.
Alright.
But it is known in the stars. Your friend here, he motions towards Revelation, I'm sure could show you in her star charts that... Yes, I can smell the druidic magic on you. I expect your star charts show evidence of such things. We live in a system.
Rev sort of nods.
Yes, you are extremely aware of this.
Finn looks completely lost when he looks at Rev, like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. We live in a system, yeah. We live in a society. It's terrible.
We live in a society.
He doesn't say that out loud. But when he says, like, we live in a system, Sin's like, yes. There's many systems. But,
Though,
yeah.
I could not tell you if other people live in those places. But, shrugs. Why not? That is far beyond my ken. But if the barrier... I was there when it was raised, It must stay in place. Whatever happens to society, whatever happens to mortals and dragons and everything in between. It must stay in place. I do not know that mortal kind would survive such a thing occurring again. There are so few of us left. And though it feels like a great big world in the life that you know, it was different before, I am told. And though I did not live before such a time, my egg decided to hatch during. But that is a story for another time. You, my dear.
Oh my god, you were a baby? You were a baby when all of this went with the sages?
Dragons do
What are they
grow
what
at a
are they
fair
doing?
rate.
What are they doing throwing a baby at the shattering?
I volunteered to help once I was old enough. It wasn't a quick event, Dayu. It happened over many years.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. That's very good to. My head was not wrapping around the time of it, just the shattering. And then 6 guys were like, "Yeah, come on, baby."
Oh no, I was not a hatchling at the time. Not by the time I met the sages, no. You must understand, everything was broken during that time. And it is a little difficult to remember, even now. Everything was different. Magic was different. Time was different. The stars do not look the same today as they did then. Everything is different.
It's a very long question. Do you know if all the gods were the same?
Yes, most of them are. Some of them are newer.
You used to be able to meet with them.
That is far before my time.
Oh, okay.
Far before the sages. Very far before.
Aldin spoke like he saw it happen himself, but that makes a lot of sense.
So you know Valdin, do you?
It's complicated, and I'm sure the other druids will want to hear it too.
As you wish. That's fair. And at the head of the group... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, not quite accusing me of name dropping.
At the head of the pack, as you approach a larger structure, I don't want to call it a longhouse, but it's kind of like that. But made of stone rather than wood. Carved stone. At the head of the pack, Tirale speaks up and says, "All right, everyone look sharp and act like you're meeting someone oh so important, because if you don't, I expect Ceylin will get cranky." You can tell he's being sarcastic. There's a little /s at the end of his sentence. As he kind of holds to the side like a tanned leather, kind of rough edge cloth almost, holds it to the side to allow you all to enter into this building. It smells of food, coffee, tea, fresh baked bread. Who goes in first?
Sin's gonna hurry through because he wants some of that coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, Sin is shuffling ahead like, ooh, coffee.
Sin, when you walk inside, what you see is a building that is really just one big room. It has some pillars running down the center to kind of hold the roof up in case snow gets too heavy. Wood, not carved wood or anything like that. Literally just logs just propped up to hold everything up in case the snow gets too heavy. Bark on it still and everything. Little graffiti carved into each one. Various names and initials and doodles. A couple of them are inappropriate and have been scratched out. On one far end, all the way to your right, Seems to be like a cooking area. There's a cook fire, and I don't know what it's called. I'm so sorry. I should have looked this up or put it in my notes. But you know those traditional like ovens that are kind of in the ground that you use to make naan? It's like that. And like a little cook fire. There's some people bustling around. There's long tables, fur rugs along the ground. And on the other end are very simple, not too high, but slightly raised daises with thick furs and cushions for seating and things like that, where you see several individuals seated, waiting. Seemingly lounging about, enjoying their day. You see at the center of this group of people is a beautiful tabaxi woman. She has very long hair, dark fur, bright, one eye that is bright green, one eye that is bright yellow. And her fur patterns look very much like yours. And she is wearing all manner of leathers and furs that obviously do not match her own. Crisscross applesauce. You imagine if she were to stand up, that she would be quite tall and lean. Very lithe looking, almost dancer-like. She's kind of willowy. To her left is a tiefling woman who has marbled skin, swirls of white and gray, and little speckles throughout that almost look like vitiligo. She has ram horns that curve forward and back rather than backward and forward. She's got solid purple eyes, no pupils, no irises, just solid purple. So you can't really tell where she's looking and when. You can see while she's talking that she has extremely sharp, jagged teeth. Somewhere between like some kind of mythical creature and a shark almost. She has a long tail that is curled around and across her lap that ends in a fin. Not unlike a shark. Tarale, of course, you know, who is holding the flap open for you. Another individual is an elven person who is androgynous looking, shaved head, wearing kind of like wearing a hat that's knit, which is a little weird compared to the clothing that they're wearing, which is very druidy, but they've got like a knit cap on, like maybe somebody made it for them and they are just like boop, wearing it. It looks very out of place fashion-wise. And there is another individual who has their back turned to the door, but you see it is another tabaxi with white fur, and patches that look kind of calico-ish, but broad masculine shoulders, wearing cloth, like kind of like linen overlaid with like, there's heavier clothing underneath, but it's like linen almost kind of over top of it, kind of like layered, like dark brown and white. And that is who you see. But yeah, in the center of it all is a tabaxi who looks a lot like Sinark.
I think he stops, and whoever came in behind him is gonna stumble, and unless potentially has a stumbling obstacle in front of them as he like sort of stares.
Who wants to be second in line?
Me. And Rev was expecting this, as we established earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe
Still
saves
hadn't put it
herself
together.
from the stumble a little bit.
Who's third in line?
But
Who's sandwiching Revelation right now? Who bumps into Rev and makes a sandwich?
I will say that even though Rev saves herself, she ends up with like a hand on Sin's shoulder and kind of keeps it there as we move in.
I would say probably Aurora and Nikita next, because they were kind of holding hands before and he shuffled away, so I feel like that kind of adds up.
Okay, so the rest of you kind of shuffle in. Kazuhiko bringing up the rear, Terale following close behind, before walking around you all towards this dais, where these individuals will notice their comrade coming in and will stand up when they realize, oh, we have guests. The Tabaxi man, when he turns to you, has icy blue eyes. And pupils that are, they're cat-like, but like wider a little bit than you would expect. And he's got a pretty wicked scar that goes from one end of his jaw, like right at the end of the jaw, across over the snout and almost all the way to the other side. Not quite, but almost. Just a single wicked, nasty scar that goes across.
Finn is now trying to seem normal and shuffle behind people.
Oh, you've already been clocked, like fully
Damn it.
clocked. Unless you want to roll a stealth check. Okay.
Let me be clocked.
Okay. You've
You
been
can say
clocked.
you could try, but Aurora's drawing attention to the situation by saying, hi, we're from the Veil of Night.
Terale will cut in and say, yes, they are envoys from our friends in the Veil of Night. The Colleague of Shirei sent them. They have a writ and everything, kind of points. And they all, they converse amongst themselves. Terale catches them up on what you've told him so far. And the Tabaxi woman, who definitely is looking at you, Sin, looks, kind of tears her gaze away. She looks very severe. She does not look jolly. She doesn't look mean, but she looks very serious. But she turns not quite expressionless, but close, to kind of look over the rest of you. And she says, well, then we must sit and break bread. And I would like to hear more about this festering problem that we all seem to be dealing with. I hope you're hungry. She looks to all of you. And as you nod and confirm, some folks from the other side of the area, they'll bring some food out, and Terale pipes up at this point, because clearly he's the comic relief of the group. He is the goofy one. Everybody else seems pretty, like, either chill or serious. And he's the weirdo of the group. He says, see, you all arrived just in time for lunch, and we also have Vestikir here. And Vestikir is kind of standing off to the side, kind of watching all of this happen. You can tell in his old age, he's so patient. He's not fussed about any of this. He's lived for centuries. This doesn't bother him one bit. He doesn't need fanfare. And they'll all say their pleasantries with Vestikir, introduce themselves to you. So the Tabaxi woman is Saylin. I'll put these all in chat because the spellings on some of these are a little weird. I don't know what I was on that day. Loris is the interesting tiefling individual. Terale, you know. Arendil is the elven individual, and Madras is the other Tabaxi. So you all kind of sit down, really up on this dais with everyone else. They set all the food out kind of picnic style. And you're all sitting in like It's not a circle. You're sitting in like just this oblong, goofy shape, surrounded with all this food in the center of everything. They bring you coffee, tea, water, whatever you ask for is yours. Anything that they have at their disposal. Much of the food that they have is very simple.
Sin makes sure to use his last name when he finally introduces himself. Like over food, like Sinark Fangbreaker.
Ceylin and Madras kind of look at each other like, oh. And as everybody's like getting their food, Ceylin, she kind of like nods to you and she says, do you know who I am?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't get to know my parents. And he shows her the same token from the orphanage that he had showed Valdin once.
Can you remind the folks at home what the token looks like?
Yes, it is it's like a carved cylinder of wood, that has a couple different notches in it to sort of represent, the people that, Sin grew up with in the orphanage, as well as like a little carving of, his supposed birth date.
She looks over this trinket and she kind of nods. As you're looking at her and talking to her, you realize she's not that much older than you. And she kind of... We'll let them handle lunch. Do you have a minute?
Yes.
And she'll get up. The other tabaxi looks very concerned. Like he wants to follow you, but he does not. She kind of... Ceylin will kind of hold up a hand, like, stay. And she will lead you out of the building, out into the open air in the snow. The snow is less harsh here. Much of this settlement is covered, at least today, from a lot of the winds. So it's not so bad outside right now. And she kind of stops in the snow and turns like abruptly to you.
And Sin he is so, like, everyone saw, like, as he got up, he was very tense, right? And like when she turns abruptly, like, he flinches hard, and he's just like, he's trying to read her expression. He's trying to get anything from her right now because he doesn't know what she's about to say to him.
Roll me an insight check.
Will do. That is an 8 plus whatever. Oh, so that's just a 10.
She's really hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
She does, however, you can tell she doesn't look angry or anything. But other than that, hard to tell. Can I ask, how old are you?
30. Wait, is it 28 or 30, guys? I think
your character's 28.
28.
20.
Sorry.
I was like, no way
Yeah.
are you 30 yet.
Yeah.
No, 28.
And she kind of nods. Well, I'm 35. It is nice to meet you, little brother.
Oh. he looks confused. And then just sort of I think he tries to make some sort of distance, or maybe he's just trying to like hold himself together, like as he sort of crosses his arms a little bit to like hug himself. Just like, oh, it's are you sure?
She kind of tilts her head at you, and you can see that her markings, like the spots on her fur, are very much the same style as yours. Her fur color is the same as yours. The yellow eye is the same shade as yours. She nods. I can tell.
Yeah, that was a dumb question. Hi.
Can you not smell that we are the same? And when you test it, if you do,
Yeah.
she smells like you.
And like he takes a deep breath, and he's sort of like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure this is I didn't know you existed. It's very nice to meet you.
I had an inkling that you existed, but I wasn't sure. And if you let her, she'll reach out and like touch your shoulder, like reassuringly.
Yeah, he lets her, and I think he like lets his arms drop, and he's just like, I um my I already introduced myself. I almost introduced myself again. I'm not sure.
Salen Fangbreaker. It's good to know they let you keep your name.
Yeah. Do you know where our parents are?
They fucked off ages ago.
God. So it's a thing that they do?
They're kind of always on the move. If I see them again, I'll let them know you stopped by.
Alright.
I realize that might be really weird without context. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our parents love to travel the world, and I expect we have more siblings floating around somewhere.
Well, I'm world traveling now myself, so...
If it makes you feel any better, they have raised... Not me either. I have been here my whole life. Born and raised.
Well, you seem to have done super well.
Well, you know. We have community here, as I expect. You're from the Vale? You were in the Vale?
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful there.
I'll have to visit sometime. Maybe after whatever the fuck is going on here.
A second attempt at the shattering?
All right. Great. Love to hear that during my lunch break. Well, I guess there's really no good time to hear about a second
we were
shattering.
gonna tell you.
I had a feeling. Terale doesn't normally do all this fanfare and opening all the barriers, which I tell him not to do all of the time. Context. Terale is my adopted brother. His family raised me.
That doesn't surprise me, honestly.
Yeah. I did not inherit the goofball shit. Did you?
I've been told that I'm a lot like Veldin.
The brow goes up at that? Huh. Okay.
I didn't really get any of the druidic stuff, though.
Have you met him?
Yeah, that's another thing to talk about inside, I guess. But yeah,
That's good, because I haven't seen the old bastard in ages. I haven't seen him since I was a child. It'd be nice if he showed his face every now and again.
I mean, again, we're gonna tell you inside, but some really rough stuff happened in Southmore. We were down on the necropolis.
Alright.
And I guess he's made me an offer for like power to help me along with this journey. So I've been chatting with him. I chatted with him a couple days back.
Boy, okay. Alright. Okay. Well, somehow I'm not surprised, but the cycle had to end at some point. Okay. What I understand of all of that is when a druid gets as old as he does, given he can't really die, technically. That's why he goes to sleep for long periods of time. You could put a whole bunch of swords through him and he'll still live. Not that I've thought about that. He annoys the shit out of me. Anyway. Very powerful. Very smart. Very... Imagine the most fantastical view of a mastermind you can possibly imagine. Imagine a genius, a mad genius, but not an evil one. That is Veldin.
I used to terrorize the Vale by putting different chemical compositions into the torches.
Oh, you're a match
to
made in
make
heaven.
them think.
Dear gods. Okay. Well, apparently I inherited all the seriousness in the family. You're giving me anxiety. We've just met. You're giving me anxiety.
I didn't
That's not-
mean to.
Nah, everything gives me anxiety. It's fine. Alright, so I... Further context. I am the lead archdruid here of the settlement. Therefore, don't call me sis or anything like that in public. It would be weird and I don't like it. But outside of that, that's fine. Or Celine is also fine if you're not comfortable calling me your sister. Given we just met. Do you prefer Sin or Sinarch or another name?
Sin is fine.
Okay. Then you can call me Say.
Alright, Say. And he's faded out of this shock into like
Yeah.
a very like a pleasant surprise. And it's just like, are you okay though? I'm sure.
Honestly, not surprised. Not surprised at all. I remember our parents. A little bit. This does not surprise me in the least, that there are more of us.
Gotcha.
Yep. Unreliable is a word.
Well,
Frustrating.
I will say I never picked that up. The second one,
Irresponsible.
yes.
Very irresponsible. Who travels around the world having children and leaving them there?
Our parents, apparently?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
I certainly don't forgive them for it. Ridiculous. I would have liked to see the world a lot sooner, and I've been stuck on this fucking mountain for 35 years.
Well, I totally think that we could definitely pull something together of like, after we stop whatever's happening.
Priorities,
like, hey,
yes.
Yeah. Because again, I do think you'd love the Vale.
I've heard that it's always night there. Is that true, or is that a legend?
That is true. I had not seen a dawn sky before I left.
Sorry, there's a little moth in here and it distracted the shit out of me.
No worries. Yeah, he's just like, I had not seen the dawn until I left. And that was only a couple months ago now.
Wow. That sounds really nice.
It's gorgeous.
Huh. Yeah, after all this, I think I'd like to visit. I mean, if we stop all of this and everything else, you know, maybe I won't have to spend quite so much time maintaining all the magic here. It is taxing, that's why there's 5 of us.
It's probably why there's so many of the Caligo Shire, too.
Yes. Although, we are a little bit different. Fucking bugs. I gotta go take care of that. It's not a moth. Fucking Florida.
So sorry.
I completely lost my train of thought.
It's a little different here.
It's a little different here in that we don't have an archdruid for most of the circles. We are all of the mountain.
Well, it makes sense based on who you are, based on where you are.
Well, yes, one must be able to shape stone. Sorry, I'm completely taking you away from all the matters at hand, but I understand you're on a journey, but it's nice to meet you. Truly.
It's really nice to meet you, too. And I'm kind of glad knowing that they aren't some, like, duo out on some important mission that never, you know, that they never thought to come back to me. That's just reckless and lost out there in the world.
I'm sure they have their reasons, and I don't know them, but... Shrugs. I don't really
They
give
can
a
have
shit.
their reasons. Yeah.
I don't care what their fucking reasons are. Trust and believe, my children will not. And when she says that, roll me a perception check.
That's a 17 plus 8, 25.
Yeah, you can see, like, when she shifts a little bit, though she's wearing, like, long cloaks and stuff, when she shifts, you can see she's pregnant.
Sin's eyes go, like, super wide, and he's just like, oh, you're... oh, I will make that trek up the mountain however many times if I'm allowed to. If I can be around.
Oh, yeah, of course. Whenever you want. Your family, after all. Madras will have to get over it, but...
Is Mad... Oh, does Madras not like visitors?
He is protective. She smiles.
I can understand that.
What do you expect from a brother-in-law? Your brother-in-law, not mine. He's my husband. Context. You're missing so much context. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. I say we get back in there, unfortunately have to drop everything that's happening, and then maybe more context later?
Absolutely. You go back in. She will... she'll She actually, despite her condition, she will open the door, she will hold open the flap for you because she's an independent woman. She doesn't need anybody to hold nothing for her. And she will let you go in first before following after you. And we're gonna kind of cut scene there, and we'll pick up next week with the conversation with the mountain druids, mainly because quite a few of us are not feeling well today, so we're gonna cut it a little early this week. So tune in next week, same bad time, same bad channel. I'm not gonna make you guys do confessionals today. We'll do pre-fessionals next week, and we'll have just a longer episode. Fuck it, we ball. So tune in next week, same bad time, same bad channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this channel on Wednesdays, every Wednesday now, not just most Wednesdays. And we will see you then. This Friday, we do not have a new episode of Curse of Sapphics. Again, that is a pre-recorded campaign that airs every other Friday, but we will be back with Curse of Sapphics next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Femme Curse of Strahd. So we are going to raid out to some friends. Let's see who we're raiding out to. Looks like Dork Tales is doing a little game. Let's see how far they are into their strim. Their stram. They are... Oh, yep, they're only like an hour and some change in. So we are going to raid into Dork Tales. We love our friends over at Dork Tales. Lovely folks. So please join us in this raid. And again, we will see you guys next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on this channel. Thank you to my lovely players, as always, for being incredible. Thank you to everybody in chat for the raids, for the follows, all the things and all the stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Where's the button? There it is.